So this presentation is about LIMARC's social media. Where are we? Why are we? What are we doing? I want you to know up front, YouTube is not part of this presentation. I'm going to handle that a little bit separately as we get further down. So what I'm going to introduce you to are all the usual hangouts that people go to find us and for other information. So here are the icons for all the places we are. Now, I specifically stated about YouTube. It's not up there because it's a special case. So dead center on the top is our website, Facebook on the left, Instagram is that orange one on the right. Then there's Groups.io, which is our LIMARC reflector, X.com, which I really wish you had to change the name to that, the former Twitter.com. There's LinkedIn and QRZ. Now, some of you might think QRZ, that's not a social media place. It actually is in a different way. So these are the groups I'm going to be talking about in this presentation. So first and foremost, the main place we all go, you do any Google searching, you do any type of searching, you're going to wind up with limarc.org, either coming to the first page or on the top of the first page. And that's really, really important. So I did a search just before I came in tonight. We are #1 on the first page of Google, and here's the search criteria I used. Ham radio clubs on Long Island. We came up first. We never came up first before. So this is a vast improvement from what it was a year ago, when we were on page 2, maybe. I don't remember exactly where, but it certainly wasn't the top. So I wanted to make sure that that happened, because as I'm showing up there, we provide a variety of information, lots of stuff going on, Amfest, meetings, events, field day, all of our repeaters and nets and much more. And I want people to understand that this is the place to go, A, to find out what we're doing, B, to find out what we're all about. Because our ultimate goal is to get more members. We want new members to join. We want people to understand that they're supporting a club that supports them. And by the way, if you didn't know, we have 11 repeaters active right now. Okay, so that's the website. Facebook. There's such a love-hate relationship with Facebook. But unfortunately, for right now, it is a necessary evil. Facebook is the big kahuna. It is the 800-pound gorilla of social media, despite what TikTok says. And that's another story. So what I try to do is I post frequent updates to Facebook. There's never a couple of days at the most go by before something goes up there. But what I have noticed in the past couple of months, I am getting requests to join the group almost daily. That's never happened before. And the number of people in our Facebook group has grown significantly in the past couple of months. People are noticing us, and they're coming from all over the country. It's not just the Long Island, New York area. There are other people that want to join. There are people that are looking to get their technician license, and they're joining to understand what we're all about, what we can do, how they can get help. I learned just yesterday, it's a mother and son situation. They both are studying for their technician license. And she put in a request to join the group. I'm happy to have them. That's the way we grow, by having people like that come find us and we invite them in. So it's not just New York. We have a worldwide audience. I get messages from people all over the world now that are looking at our Facebook group. So this is all very good. All right, so that's Facebook. Instagram. This is one of our newest additions. And the reason I wanted to be on Instagram is because it really, really lends itself to imagery, pictures, video, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So by doing this, I'm expanding the reach of where people can find LIMARC. These are all interconnected. And our reach is for the global amateur radio community, not just a small micro subset of it. Because there's a lot out there, and I want people to be able to find it wherever they are. So what I try to do is I post things on Instagram as images to keep people abreast of what's going on. Field day activities, Hamfest, all the stuff going on the website, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, before I forget, at the bottom of every single page on limarc.org are links to all of these social media places. So you never have to worry about where do I find this thing? Who are they connected with? Every single page has it on. So that is instant. But by the way, that is a Mark Zuckerberg property.
And you can link them automatically.
They're all connected. X.com, my favorite, formerly known as Twitter. Okay, so Twitter, in its heyday, and even now, used to be known as the fire hose of the internet. Why? Because so many people post so many tweets on current events, things happening around the world, that it is still considered the fire hose of the internet. That sounds kind of crazy, but it actually benefits us because our X account was dormant for 5 years, like literally no posts, none. You would think that that could be a real problem, and it was. Once I finally was able to get into that account and start activating it again, there was far, far more sharing, far more people visiting. Our analytics and our views are really much, much higher than they were even 6 months ago. So we're experiencing a much greater reach than we've ever had because X is still the platform. It is the fire hose of the internet, and that helps us greatly because we get blasted out to as many places that it connects to. So there is an established audience, and we are growing in followers. There are more people following us now in the last like 7, 8 months than were ever following us before. So this is all good news. This is all good. So what I try and do is I replicate the things that are going on at LIMARC across all these social platforms so that there's a bit of a consistency because there are people that favor one over the other. Some people don't favor any of them, so as long as they go to our website, they'll know what's going on. But X is a valuable piece of this economy. So that's X. All right, LinkedIn. This one I wasn't so sure about until I took a look at the number of amateur radio groups on LinkedIn. It would blow your mind. And these are not just your average, ordinary, everyday ham. These are people who are in professional organizations like the IEEE. They work for electronics manufacturers around the world. They also do their own thing. They're consultants, IT professionals, you name it. So what better group of professionals to pick than trying to get a hold of these guys on LinkedIn? Now, since this account is brand new, it takes a while for all of that stuff to really start generating. But I can see there's already a lot more traffic going to it in the last few months because all the other social media networks connect with LinkedIn. Everybody's on most of these platforms. So when they see this stuff, they're very willing to share it. They're very willing to engage. So this is all good. Remember, publicity can be all good if you look at it the right way. For us, this is very good publicity. Because there are a lot of professionals out there that are hams as well, and I'm trying to exploit that fact as much as I can. So this is a work in progress, but it's growing. So that's LinkedIn. Groups.io. Well, this one has a history. However, Groups.io is probably one of the most important avenues for us to disseminate information. Now, I know there's been a lot of back and forth about the number of emails that are generated from here, and you don't want so many and all that. That's fine. I get it. I get it. But Groups.io allows you to tailor what you get in your inbox. You can actually set it so that you don't get any emails at all. Or you can get individual emails, or you can get digest. So there's flexible ways of managing this so you don't get overwhelmed. However, Groups.io is where we can post something and have it blast out to everybody who's in our LIMARC group right away. So this is one of the venues we can use to get information out quickly. If you are not a member of Groups.io, I would strongly urge you to consider joining. It is a low volume service. You won't get tons of emails on a daily basis. In fact, I did the math. Most people on average will get 0.86 emails a day from Groups.io. Probably even less, but that's the average. Most of that is because of people applying to things, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of options for you to get news delivered to you, but it is a great place to ask questions, to engage with other LIMARC members, because this is for LIMARC members only. So it's another way to engage with them, get answers, pivots, get information, have hookups, meetings, whatever you want. It really is a good service, and if you're not a member, I would strongly urge you to consider doing it. So that is Groups.io. And then there's QRZ.
Larry, did you mention that it's free to sign up?
Yes, free to sign up. Thank you, Gary. Yes, Groups.io is free. In fact, all of these that I'm showing you are free to sign up, by the way.
Good.
They're all free. There are premium versions of some of these, but what I'm showing you are all free. All right, so QSD. Why QSD? Why is that part of social media? Well, the government shutdown proved that. Why do I say that? Because you can't check anybody on the FCC website right now. And I checked before I did this presentation, still down. Nobody signed anything, so the FCC will be out of commission. Oh, there's a common words, Federal Communications Commission. They are out of commission until next week at the very earliest. So QRZ now is the go-to place to look up call signs, to see who's really out there, or this, that, and the other thing. And we have QRZ pages for our repeaters. You have W2BL, W2KPQ, and also WV2LI for QRZ page.
And what about you? The Rumble before that?
Yeah, well, does Rumble have the Alpha 2 LIMARC that? Does it have a QRZ page too?
It's there.
It is there, okay, good. So what I'm doing right now as part of the social media outreach, I am updating and adding content to both W2BL and W2KPQ, so that when people go there, they see something. Right now, they're blank pages. I don't want people to go to blank pages. Blank pages don't convey any information. Blank pages do not point to us. Blank pages do not leave LIMARC in their brain. I want LIMARC tattooed in the middle of their brain. So the QRZ pages are very important. Google, by the way, loves QRZ pages because the content is always changing in many cases. There's images, there's all sorts of stories in there, and everything else. So QRZ is a valuable resource for us as amateur radio operators, and it's also a valuable resource for the club, LIMARC. So I'll be building those out and adding the others to that suite of QRZ pages as well. So if you have a QRZ page right now, please take a look at it. If you're not mentioning or putting on there that you're a LIMARC member, please consider doing so. Because those things get indexed and it leads all back to us. And that's always a good thing. So I would encourage you to. So that's QRZ.
So letters in there, that's it?
Yeah,
That.
and that's it. All you have to do. Okay, so this is what we just covered. These guys are the core of what we have. Now, I'm going to talk about YouTube just for a minute. The reason I left this out is because YouTube is going through a transition right now. And it is its own search engine, meaning you can go to YouTube and search for just about anything. You don't need Google searches to find things. So YouTube itself has become its own search engine. It's always a good idea to go to Google search and all that, or you can ask ChatGPT. And of course, that's another story. But YouTube is a very, very visual medium. It's not like an email. It's not like the website. It's a very visual medium. And there are ways we can handle that to make it even more important to us as a club so that people can find us. So right now, we usually post a video up once a month. This presentation will be up on YouTube. Once I get it and Zoom has done its thing and Gary sends it off to me, then I will be able to post that on YouTube and you can see this presentation in its entirety once again. But even more important, YouTube is emphasizing shorts. Your short videos, less than 5 minutes. So what I'm looking to do is develop a list of the kind of shorts we can use that will get us more subscribers and bring more traffic to both YouTube and to us. Because here's the ultimate result. Here's my goal. My goal is to get everybody to come to visit limarc.org. That's the ultimate goal. If all this stuff goes away and our website is the only thing standing, I want people still to be able to find us. So the website is the core of all of this, and it all points back to this. So any of our postings, you will always see limarc.org somewhere in there on all of these places. So YouTube is a special case, and I'm looking at ways to try and boost that subscription level and also the level of activity. So that's coming in 2026, and I'm hoping to take advantage of either the people in this room or others that are on Zoom or anywhere else for that matter, to help me generate a lot of short videos. These can be highly informational, right to the point, makes LIMARC, it shows that LIMARC is active and in the game, and that's one of my goals. So that's for social media. Now I want to bring up one other thing. This is not necessarily social media, but it is a vital information portal for all of us, including the global amateur radio community. That's the log. That is George Sullivan's baby. Puts a tremendous amount of work into this. So I'm bringing this up for one very important reason. This is what it looks like, the email that you get every month from Constant Content. So you'll see the link, it'll show the first page of what George has put together. And then down below, you're gonna see this, download document. And an actual link that shows you what the link is when you click download document. Now, according to generated statistics from the last log that was sent out, only 1/3 of those people that get the log in their email click on that link. What are you people doing? There's a tremendous amount of info. By clicking where it says download document or the link right below where it says link to the log. So please don't skip this very, very important step. Download it. Look at it on your PC or on your device. It's there for the taking. It is a valuable resource. And it covers all the things that happened in the prior month. So this way, you won't be able to say, I didn't know anything about that, because it's right there in the log. So please click that download document. It would make George really happy to see a much higher open rate for that particular document. So please do that. It won't harm your computer. They're usually very small sizes. What are we running about? 3.5 to 4 megabytes on the log?
Yeah, the constant contact limit is 5.
Okay, so you can never, right, so you'll never get more than 5 megabytes, which is a very small download in today's world. So this is very important. It's all part of our outreach, all part of making sure that LIMARC is forefront in people's minds. Q&A. Any questions? Yes, sir.
As we talked about, many people are concerned about their privacy by giving out their email address to these various meetings. We did talk about the answer if you want to.
Yeah, that is a concern. It's always a concern. It's always a concern about me, for me, because of being an IT professional in my prior life. I'm still an IT professional now, but I also have an extensive background in security and all this other stuff. And it's one of those things where you don't want to give up your privacy. You don't want people to know what your email address is, and I get all that. But there are plenty of ways to mitigate that, or to make sure that you're safe and sound when you're using these services. You can use a throwaway email address. You can have a second email address, which is a lot of times what I do, when it comes to signing up for these services. Just a second email address for social media only. You don't use it for banking, you don't use it for anything else. Just use it for social media. This way, you can log in to these social media accounts, you can enjoy this content that's in there, you can follow along what's going on, and you can keep track of what we're doing. Now, to be fair, some of these services will allow you to look at our stuff without signing in at all. So that's another option, but unfortunately, they are tightening the screws on that. Many of our social media services are now not allowing that. So a second email address would be probably the best way to go. And make sure you have a strong password and all the usual things that you're told about. Also, many of these services have two-factor authentication, where they will send a code to your phone, to another device, or whatever, to make sure you are you. Now, you may look in the mirror and say, hey, that's me, but that's not sufficient. They want to send you a code, and you can enter that in and protect yourself that way. So that's what I would suggest. And there's a lot of information out there for the taking, so don't be shy, go after that. But if, of course, you have any questions, you can always email me. I'm at webmaster@limarc.org. I'm at social media at limarc.org. That's probably the better one, especially given this presentation. Any other questions?
Are you able to go live into any of the meetings
I can.
to show people what it looks like?
All right, what I'm going to do is stop sharing this presentation. There we go. And
And Larry, also a quick tour of the website itself.
that's what I'm bringing up right now. So, all right, so I'm going to share. Over here. All right, so here's our website. And
Website is not a.
I'm going to share, yes. But I have to set the Chrome tab to show the website. There we go, there we go, share. Okay. So go full screen on this guy, that's better. All right, so starting off on the home page. So the home page is going to give you all of our posts. And you, many of you have probably seen this, or you scroll down, there all the posts are go back a certain amount of time. And they roll off, they're always still available, you just won't see them on the home page. On the right side is our Hamfest sponsors and a bunch of other things that we're doing. And at the top there, you can see is the countdown to the anniversary. Now, I picked 24 days, Rich, is that right?
Well, we would be till actually December 31st, would be the completion of our.
Okay, all right. Okay, but it's definitely in the right month, so that's good. All right, so for most of these, many of the options here, most people have gone to, there's a battle line mark, which gives us a list of board of directors, our members. Oh, by the way, let me show you the members page, because we are in the middle of transitioning from 2025 to 2026. Now, you'll notice a lot of those call signs are in red. That means that the person behind that call sign is renewed or joined us in 2026. All the ones in black are still in 2025. Nothing wrong with that, but once they renew for 2026, they'll all go red, and then on January 1st, it reverses back and everybody will have the call signs in black, and that's where we'll start from. And also for SKs, if you're a silent, you won't be here, but for the ones that are SKs and have paid through the end of any year, they stay on until the end of that year. And then they're taken off the list from the following year, just so you know why those are there. So that's for members. Right here, I usually have information about the Hamfest. This one's gonna come off tomorrow. And we have our meeting dates, for example, this one, I'm gonna update this for 2026 coming up soon. Here's our schedule, which is on this page. You know, all the great stuff has already happened. So stuff in yellow at the bottom there is what's coming up next. Which happens to be the 12th, and that's day. And then we've had our indoor Hamfest, so that leaves us with December events, and that's what you see there. So most of the stuff that's on here is kept up to date as best as possible. Member-only benefits, always good to look at that because that does change. Joining and renewing your membership, same thing. Mailing list, this is one of the most important pages. Our repeaters. All the link repeaters, I'm about to update this page too, based on what Richie has submitted to the ARRL for the repeater book. There's a lot of information on there that's not on this page, so I'm gonna be updating that as well, and that'll help find what you need. Because our website is supposed to be an information portal, not just something pretty to look at. It is pretty, but it's something much more than that. We have a whole section on education, special events, additional links, our nets, which I'll highlight right now. We got a whole bunch of nets here, and I hope that you're taking advantage of this, at least listening. I have to admit, I'm addicted to the TechNet. Absolutely addicted. I get so much work done during the TechNet when I listen to it, but I'm still listening. But the TechNet has got stuff that you just wouldn't believe. They go anywhere from how do you set up a dipole to the esoterics of quantum mechanics and everything in between. It's absolutely cool and interesting to listen to. Morning drive time. This was Richie's idea from a while back, and this has taken off. There are plenty of people out there driving, going to wherever they have to go, and they all join in for the drive time net. And they put it available in regular and decaf, depending on your persuasion. Okay, so during the week, the InfoNet is on Mondays, always good stuff, always, always, always. And your NCOs in rotations, Richie, Lou, and Harry, and they all do a very good job all the time. Followed by the swap and chat, which by the way, that's where I got this little baby. I came with F6A, I got that on swap and shop. So don't think there's nothing of value on there because this is a great purchase for me. Following that is the Amateur Radio Newsline. And then we have Kenny Chi right here with the LIMARC computer net on the 3rd and 4th Wednesdays. A very fascinating net to listen to. It's an IT guy. That's like mandatory listen. So I'm very appreciative of that net. And then Friday nights, if you got a 220 radio, or a 1.2 gig radio, you gotta get on these nets and test it out. The 220 net is at 8:30 on Fridays. I try my best to get it with this little HT. Don't always work, but I try. And the last one, the 1288 net, I can listen to on this radio because it goes to 1.3 gigahertz. So I can listen, and if they talk about me, I'll know that. But these are great nets to check into. And the last one here is the 5th Wednesday of every month is the Trivia and Nostalgia Net. And boy, oh boy, Richie goes into incredible trivia and nostalgia. It's like my brain hurts from the last few because it just went into things and just drew up memories and everything else. So all worthwhile nets, please take advantage of these, listen if you can, join for sure if you have the capability to do so. So this is our website. It's always changing. There's always going to be something new on here. I try my best to keep it up to date. If you have any suggestions, if you find errors, I'm sure there are, webmaster@limarc.org is the place to send them to. And with that, I will stop sharing. Richie, anything else you want me to cover?
Larry, is that a WordPress site?
That is a WordPress site. You are correct.
Oh, I have a question on Facebook. How do you like a site? It's very hard to figure out how to do it.
How to do what?
Get rid of a site you don't want to see anymore.
On Facebook?
Unlink it?
You mean you want to unlike or unfollow or one of those?
Yeah.
Yes, if it's a group, every group has a button in there that says, do you want to leave this group? And you just click yes and, out you go. You can suspend getting stuff from them. You can tell them to put it on hold, but if you want to leave, you can leave. The same thing with following a page. You can leave following a page. Now, I would hope you wouldn't do that for LIMARC, but for anything else, yes, you can do that. You can also block and unfollow other people, same thing. But Facebook has that all over the place. You just have to look for it. A lot of times they bury these things. I don't know why, but they do.
Hard to unfollow.
And yeah, they don't want you to unfollow because for them it's revenue ultimately with ads and all sorts of other stuff being placed there. Any other questions?
How many YouTube subscribers have we got?
We have 420 as of yesterday. That's a very interesting number for those that invite. 420. Yes. When I first took over YouTube, I think we had 360 or 370 something. So it's grown significantly. And I'm noticing that the traffic, I look at the traffic statistics also. The amount of traffic going to our YouTube channel has increased dramatically in the last 6 months. Same thing with our website. I showed Richie some of the graphs I had up here before I started the presentation, and it is showing consistent increases month by month based on everything that we're posting. See, a website is not one of those things you throw it up there and just leave it alone. If you build it, they will not come. But if you build it and point them to it and say, listen, you gotta go there, it's the best thing since sliced bread, they will show up eventually. Anything else? Yes, sir.
That's a question that it relates to what you're talking about, that if you want to get the next generation interested in radio, I think to do some kind of hands-on format of building kits. I know people are doing it. I know that you can order on Amazon that the program and make motion run and colors and all kinds of things. The movie said it's wonderful to be with friends and everything else, but that they gotta have action, they gotta have.
You're absolutely right.
Totally, they gotta have.
And trust me when I say we have been thinking about this a lot.
Unfortunately, we don't have a clubhouse, but if we can free clubhouse, like maybe going and renting a room once a month or something, maybe.
Well, one of the things that's happening coming up in January is Ham Radio University. And you're gonna see a lot of this information being passed around. We will be there, we'll have a table at Ham Radio University, we're going to get that started. But there's no question, we're going down that road. It's just a matter of how long it's gonna take to get there. We're looking at a whole bunch of things.
And I think the public library, they want to get kids, if you can probably, they'll probably they will probably even be so happy they will pay it.
Yeah, well, I hear you, I wish that was true, but unfortunately, there's so much demand and so many different things pulling in different directions. If we had a location which was totally ours, we'd be able to do that a lot better, a lot quicker than we can do that now. Unfortunately, we don't have a home for it, but
The big issue for us is finding the right person to do that. Honestly, looking around the room here, I'd probably say there's probably at least half a dozen, maybe more like a dozen people who could actually do that. But we need them to stand up, step up and say, we're gonna do it. Right? And that's really one of the limitations we have.
yeah, and there are a lot of moving parts in this gearbox. And we honestly, we're all looking at them, to see how we can actually.
I was working yesterday, actually, about a week ago, they had some people airplane times that they'll have to build kids and the show has to hold them and then time and then they're measuring the distance. Plane flight, you know.
Yeah, if we were all about paper airplanes, I think we'd have that covered. But yes, I understand what you're saying. I completely get what you're saying. But it is one of those things that takes time to develop and all of that, but we are moving in that direction.
Let you.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because it's a library space, which means there's demands on their space from other places, just like we're demanding it too. Any other questions? Okay, very good. Thank you all. Thank you all for, thank you.